And that also might have been my quickest setup that I've done.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good measure.
Let's go. Welcome to Mass Memories, the podcast where my friends talk about their lives. Today on Sunday, April 30th, 2023, I'm here with Joseph Cypersky, a.k.a. Sam, a.k.a. the Yellow Assassin, a.k.a. Mr. Vice President Sir, a.k.a. You have any other nicknames I missed?
Not much. Sam's a tough one.
Yeah, I feel like
Can't go too many ways.
Yeah, you haven't got Mule yet?
Mule is, that got outdated quickly, I'd say. But it was definitely there in the early years.
I can imagine. I feel like, I always love when people take those the odd parts of names and try to make nicknames out of it. Like I got Den. Yeah.
That works, Denny.
Or Ned. Or
Ned.
Something like that, yeah. What is your first memory of me and you?
I'm bad with first memories of people, I'd say, honestly. But I definitely heard of you a few times before meeting you from other friends when I needed tech help, if you want me to be honest.
IT guy, yeah.
Yep. People were like, oh, well, have you met Landon? I'm like, no, who is this Landon character? And then obviously I eventually met you, probably just at some ATO event, but...
Yeah. No, I feel like first interactions are either super you know them or you don't.
I was gonna say, they have to be huge to be crazy memorable.
Yeah, and even I don't even know I don't know if what our rundown was either, if you even got mine
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'm pretty good about remembering those because
Yeah.
those are good big conversations to get to know people, and I like to think I remember most of those.
I do remember. I don't think you were in this group. There was a day where 12 guys from your PC came to Bowen, just all filled in to my room, all asked almost the same question to me and hey, and then filed right back out.
Not how it's meant to be, man.
Yeah, no, I'm a sucker for a good rundown. Me and Myers was 3.5 hours.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah,
so there should be.
Yeah, you actually get to meet people instead of just okay, fill out these requirements, you know?
Yeah, some people don't get the point, but there's definitely a point to them.
Yeah, no, I mean, how many did you guys do when you were pledging?
Probably 65, I feel was the number.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did 70, and I feel first 2 or 3 weeks is just guys at the house or the regulars, but getting those last fringe guys, in my opinion, were the best, because it's they're not going to come to every party, but when you do, it's oh shit, you're here, you know?
Totally, yeah. Those guys you have to really seek out. I feel you find out a lot more, and I don't know, maybe they give more perspective, whereas everyone in the house might say similar shit because they're living together.
Yeah, get more variety.
Yeah, for sure.
What were you doing today before we started filming?
Cooked a good breakfast, watched some soccer, and then headed to Casinos to watch some basketball. So that's a pretty good Sunday to me, though.
Yeah. No.
With some food.
Yeah, I mean, we spent most of the morning together already.
Correct.
What'd you cook up for breakfast?
It'd be my traditional breakfast, I'd say. 3 eggs, 2 pieces of turkey sausage and spinach. Maybe a piece of bread in there, if you're looking for a little carbs.
It's a good breakfast, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of, spinach is technically a veggie.
Yeah.
I really like spinach with breakfast. Not much else, honestly. Spinach, for some reason, can rub me the wrong way outside of just, sauteed for breakfast.
I gotcha. Is that one of those things where you can just, autopilot do it, or?
Yeah, I would say so.
It's a good morning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully the Heat pulled it out, you know?
Yeah.
Either,
too.
Yeah, we either see Cody go crazy, winning, or just, watch him just be depressed when we get back.
Yeah. Could be good for poker. Maybe he'll be throwing money everywhere.
Yeah. No, honestly, I need some press Cody to just, fuel his sadness.
For sure.
What does your typical day or week look like right now?
Obviously, working remotely, there's not much action. So, I'd say I wake up most days 7:30 or 8. I try to cook breakfast. A few months back, I even got into a good routine of reading a good 40 pages before work, which I really liked and have not gotten back to. But maybe I know it's possible for me now that I did it for a good amount of time. That was pretty great. I really liked that. And you feel you're making progress before work, whereas now it's usually more maybe watch some TV and just cook that same breakfast, and then work 9 to 5. Yeah, I'm usually done by 5:30 most days, and try and hit the gym maybe every other day. I don't really expect myself to every day. And then leisure would probably be mostly either books, music or video games here and there. And then cooking dinner, honestly. I definitely cook more than most, I think, at my age, so, like, I think it's worth it to, like, block off that time, like, an hour to cook rather than, like, I don't look at it like, oh, I have to cook for an hour. I look at it like I get to cook for an hour, so.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like cooking is like one of those, it's like a fun experience,
Yeah, I mean, it's food, like,
yeah.
it's essential, and everyone's gonna have to do it at some point in their life, basically, so.
Yeah.
Learning to do it well is pretty cool and pretty good skill to show off.
Yeah, plus like, while you're cooking, because like you said, it's like an hour, like you can like knock off something else, whether it be like listen to a podcast or something like that, like.
Yeah, it can usually be combined, with music. I've worked away from podcasts too, but like not entirely, and I've definitely listened to maybe like one or two this month, but yeah, you can usually do one of those two things while cooking, so it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. What's the best thing you've chefed up recently?
I recently sauteed zucchini and didn't have high expectations, like not even breaded or anything. And I know I've always liked eggplant, but I've always been much weirder about zucchini.
Yeah.
And it was great, and it was like one of those foods where I was like, I did this because the zucchini's like $1.50 maybe at the store for like full zucchini. It should get you like 2 meals if you just do it with like good noodles. And it was great, and I don't really do red meat, so outside of chicken I like to mix it up, maybe with fish, maybe with veggies, and zucchini's definitely now a good option.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Chef Sam in the future.
For sure.
Yeah, I gotta come up this summer and just come see you cook. Where do you lean politically and why?
It sounds weird, but I don't lean far either way. I'd say I lean slightly more left, just from the influence in my life, but I'd also say I care so little about politics, and that like sounds cliche, but I really don't, because my family has very extreme sides of both spectrums, and I'd say from a young age I've seen it not like all out divide people, but in general like political conversations weren't like the friendliest at like dinner tables.
Yeah.
So I feel like even now there's just like an instinct in me to like cut off when like it comes on the TV, which I know to some point isn't very helpful for like myself, and like my vote does still matter, and I believe in that, but I know that I haven't done a good job of educating myself because I usually block it out and really don't care that much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel like I've got family on both sides of the aisle, and I don't know, people just take it so personally. It's crazy.
Way too personally, and I hate it. And I do think like our generation will get better about not taking it personally. Maybe because of similar experiences as me and parents versus grandparents. And I've seen that generational divide for sure. Like, I have some far right grandparents, and then some like far left aunts and uncles that if like one thing gets brought up, like literally you're like, oh god, like here we go.
Dude, I remember
that feeling.
I was at my graduation party, and someone came up, and I won't say who, but like someone just left the conversation because they'd rather just like leave, and like it's a little childish maybe, but like at the same time it's like better that than just, I don't know.
Yeah, I sometimes side that way too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'd be considered like the pacifist move, but sometimes I do that rather than engaging.
Yeah. No, I'm an asshole because I always like, and I don't know if I bring it up, but I always ask like why to people, like, like, okay, like, because I like to know both sides.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to know like the reasoning instead of just like it is because it is, like why are you like arguing this? And then that just spirals into a lot.
Sometimes too much, yeah. But that's a good point, because that's where I lack sometimes. Like now that I think about it, like I said, I think our generation, hopefully we start to realize that like the extremes are probably neither right, like meet somewhere in the middle. So hopefully like extremely political shirts and shit like that is going to be more and more frowned upon.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because I don't know, I've walked through campus and seen some crazy shit.
Yeah, some phrases you see people make up, and just like, even social media accounts now is a problem. Like everyone can make like an organization that has every social media platform.
Yeah. Just
puts out crazy stuff.
No, I think the craziest one I saw was like, Biden has dementia, Kamala's not black, I forget what the third one was, and then Hunter's on crack, and I'm like, you're just walking to class like that. Like that is a like.
And especially at college, that's the case of, that's like people's first thought of you, even if they don't know you. Like,
Yeah.
they look at that kid, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk to him.
Yeah, especially like I feel like college in general is like very left leaning.
Yeah.
And so like where I mean that's just asking for
It's just
trouble.
bold,
right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably start some conversations actually. Some people might feel so far the different way that they might engage with him.
Yeah. Like what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Come on.
Wild.
What is your most unique talent?
I think I have a reasonably high, like, human intelligence stemming from, I don't know, maybe like actually caring about people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even, like in some scenarios, if I don't care about someone, maybe I'm not gonna like put in the work to like really read them and try to become friends with them, but it's more so that when I want to, I think I'm able to and will.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be, like I said, reading someone and just like trying to understand what type of person a new like individual is, or like how they fit into my life and where they maybe belong in terms of like a spectrum of friends. And I'd say like I'm also decently passionate, could definitely be more like, I guess, action oriented about it, but pretty into like mental health and just, I don't know, I always keep that in mind with people, and I think I've always been good about that, and also like led an organization in high school about it, and I had to talk to like middle school kids about it and like lead presentations, which is a tough group of just a tough age of kids to talk to about like a mature topic that like half of them are like laughing at you and you're like, you guys don't understand yet, but I know everyone encounters it, so I always keep that in mind, and I think I'm pretty good about knowing how to start a conversation and like guide in the right direction. It's important.
How did you get involved with like middle schoolers and all that?
It was an organization called Teen Peers Educating Peers,
Mm-hmm.
Teen PEP, awful acronym. Like the shirt said PEP, and I was like,
Yeah,
I don't think we're doing this justice.
that
Like,
was
if
the
you put Peers
opposite of what you're
Educating
talking-
Peers,
Yeah.
that sounds good. That sounds a little sophisticated even. But then PEP, when you walk into a room and say we're Teen PEP, everyone's like, you're gonna like cheer for us, and you're like, no, we're gonna talk about. We talked about even like drug abuse, sexual abuse, so tough topics with that audience.
Yeah, not
But-
really peppy.
No, not peppy at all, really. So they probably could have named it something entirely different. But the goal was to have like sophomores and up in high school, then talk to the younger grades and their grades even at times. But like they did educate us on those topics
Mm-hmm.
and cool not cool, like local stories. So people don't just think like, oh, like the local hospital like are making them like teach this class, and it was like, no, like this happened at like our neighbor high school, like this is how it could have been prevented, like this is what you do in this situation. And it only happened to me like once or twice, but we were meant to like offer our help to like any of those kids that we then presented to, like feel free to come up to us after, or here's her name, so if you see us in the hallway, like feel free to. Like one younger kid talked to me about it, and it didn't get that deep. I think he didn't feel like awful. It wasn't as messy of a situation as some of these can be. I mean, it wasn't like rape or anything awful, but just helpful to be someone. Like, I'm glad that he was able to look at me and be like, yeah, I'll go talk to him about this. Like, who knows if he told his parents even yet. So it's a cool organization to be a part of. Tough to teach, like, I don't know, I can see myself working back into like an organization like that, whether it be through work or just like a group in Boston, but yeah, I think it's a good thing to teach people about, and I feel like how if you learn an hour a week about, or an hour per month about a topic like that, then like everyone will be a little more educated about it.
Let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like you're doing God's work and whatnot. That's great. I mean, especially like like you said, the younger you are, just be more aware about it to help them
For sure.
out.
Yeah, learning it at a young age was really cool. I feel like some kids probably don't hear about these things until maybe later in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it's like someone from like their local hospital or something, or like an institute comes in, speaks for an hour and that's it, and they're not really paying attention. But like the peer-to-peer thing, I think that might be one big concept around it. Like they've seen me like play on their football field and stuff like that. Like they've seen me, so
You're not just like a random adult.
yeah, they're more inclined to listen than like some random adult who, for all they know, is trying to brainwash them. Like, yeah, they should be open a little more to the ideas I have. But yeah, I think it'll especially become relevant to like. I'm not like impartial one way or another, as I don't think anyone would be, but like men's mental health, I think is going to be a more pressing topic soon. That like we started learning about, I guess, around when I graduated, but I know is becoming more of a topic with some of the horrible statistics.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the whole Movember thing, right? You know, to raise awareness for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, I hopefully will educate myself more on it and try to work back into it.
Yeah. What's your relationship like with your family?
Really good, honestly. I think family's a huge part of my life for sure. Love most of the time I spend with them. Recently, even my parents are now divorced, and
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. It's been really interesting for me because I've received lots of sorries, and it's an odd time when it happens when I'm 1 or 2 years away from graduating school because it just happened, and I'm already away from home so much that like I don't see much of it, so I feel much worse for my younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like only partially affected me, which has been really weird, because I know it's a big deal, so I think I'd expect to feel worse about it than I do.
Yeah.
Sounds odd, but they're both still great people, and like I don't think any less of either, so I'm still able to see both when I'm home, so I guess it hasn't been like as ugly as some separations are, would be the main benefit, but extended family too are a huge part of my life. Have my family in Detroit, Toledo, some in Chicago that we don't talk with as much, but plenty of cousins too. I think my cousins are one thing I'm super grateful for, just because there's like 4 other guys similar to my age, and that's, I guess, just luck.
Yeah.
But I feel like most people don't have that, and now that some of them are getting old enough to like be in college, and one of the guys is just 1 year older than me, like we're able to play poker at their place when I'm back in Toledo, which is pretty cool with 4 of your cousins, or go out to the bar with them. When some people like see their cousins once a year, you hear like reunions like that, like we never had to have because we saw each other at least once a week usually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
With you going to Boston, like have you thought about kind of the distance and also possibly returning back to Toledo and Detroit, or?
Definitely. I think it's going to be weird for the family thing because I think a huge reason I loved Ohio State so much was the distance to be able to go home still. Like it was perfect in that I was able to make new friends at Ohio State, and you know, branch out of that high school group, and then also be able to have that fallback of you can literally go home any weekend, and that's what I intended, and it worked out like that. And I'm not going to be used to not being able to just fall back and be able to drive home to them like once I'm in Boston. So I don't know. I'll have to get better at calling them, I think, which I'm definitely not the best at because I think I see them in person enough to maybe not have to update them like weekly, as I know a lot of people do. But I'll have to get better at that, as I'm sure they will with me, because they'll know now I'm fully independent.
Yeah, that's the tough part about growing up. It's like, I don't know, you go from like being around your family and friends all the time to college to like, and all your college friends like go all off, and it's just, it's all phone calls now.
Yeah, a lot of phone calls, which, yeah, I could improve on.
What were you doing when you first got the news of COVID?
I was in San Francisco, actually.
Really?
Where patient 0 was rumored to happen.
Was it you?
It wasn't me. The group I was with was my girlfriend and her older brother. Like a spring break thing. She goes to school out in California. So we drove, it's like 2 or 3 hours north of where she goes to school, to San Francisco for, I think, just the weekend we were there. And then we're going to go back down to where she was. And COVID was sort of lurking by then, like no one knew if it was really bad. Trying to think, like the Rudy Gobert stuff started happening when I was there. I hated that moment, but there was like the rumor that Patient Zero was on like this cruise ship that we quite literally like could see from like the San Francisco Bay, and we were like,
No way.
what could possibly be going on out at that boat? And we didn't really understand it, but I have crazy memories of like then flying home from San Francisco like that Sunday, and her older brother like bought masks, and he was like, I think we're supposed to wear these, and it was just when no one knew what to do. Airlines didn't have any regulations yet because they didn't know how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
But like we wore them, and it was probably a pretty scary parting between like my girlfriend and I already being long distance, so it's always sad leaving after spring break.
Yeah.
It's like usually the only time I get to see her from like 3 months, then spring break for like a week, and then another 3 months I might go without seeing her. And then we're like parting ways for long distance and COVID's in the mix, so I'm like, this is weird. But yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Could have met Patient Zero for all I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know like where you were when you got the first like the emails from OSU about like spring break being extended and then like canceled?
Yeah, so a little before that, we were like in her dorm. So that was really funny too because, yeah, I'm on spring break. And her dorm was not similar to like the towers here at Ohio State, but it was like 4 rooms of 4 girls,
Mm-hmm.
sort of in this like, not even circle, but different boxes. And I'm just with her and her 3 roommates, and I'm starting to get these emails, and they're like, oh my God. And we're all like, this is awesome. And I'm like, sweet, like I get to maybe stay out in California or like just extended break when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
This is sweet. And they're like, are we gonna get our spring break extended? And they were like jealous at the time. I remember that being really weird. And just different girls from like the suite filing in and like, oh, like Katie's boyfriend might stay longer and like we might get extended spring break. And just the quickness that emotion flip-flop till we're like, oh, this might be serious. Like,
Yeah.
This is an extended spring break, guys.
Yeah.
And we found that out by the end of that trip, so.
Yeah. No, I feel like everyone being on spring break at Ohio State, like it's just
Mhm.
that, like, oh, it's like, let's go.
We
like,
thought it was so cool. Such a roller coaster.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, at least we can all share that, like, is I don't know, COVID is just, it's wild that it was like 3 years ago now, like,
2020.
that feels like
last month.
Yeah. No, that's fun.
Yeah.
But
Crazy that we were in college for it.
yeah, it's so many unprecedented times during our life.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure working, like being in the real world working was crazy with it, but I assume college is a little crazier. Like,
Yeah.
teachers had no idea what to do. Some workplaces already had a little bit of remoteness.
Yeah.
They adjusted, but I don't know.
No, I'll die on the hill that I did not learn a single thing during online school.
Like, classes I slept through.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Especially-
I loved online classes.
Especially that like semester that was transition, like, thank God for pass fail because I got my first 4.0 that semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I balled out, like, I don't know, I heard a rumor that, like, snow days are now just gonna be virtual days, and I hope to God not, because,
I've heard that too. That's so sad when you think
Yeah.
of childhood memories of snow day announcements.
like, do you have, like, any traditions for, like, praying for a snow day?
Oh yeah, I mean the usual like, inside out pajamas
Mhm.
and like spoon under the pillow. But our district was always really strict at home, so it was so rare that it happened. Like it only happened twice for me, like all of high school, and it's like Ohio it snows plenty. So it would just be always a big deal, and we'd wake up at like 6 a.m. to start literally just watching the news, and like you're hoping your school comes across the bottom of the TV is how I picture it as it
Yeah.
starts to scroll, like cancel. And there'd be many days where you'd wake up early expecting it to happen, like every other school's canceled
And it's
in
not
like
you.
Toledo, and we're like 1 hour delay, and we're like, oh my God, like I woke up too early then too for this.
Dude, the worst was when all your friends had school canceled, and then you
Yeah.
just didn't.
That's what the other schools always did, so sometimes it really sucked.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, like, if the snow days do still happen, like, there's no, like, need to, like, wake up early now, because it's just text
Nope.
people,
Yeah,
find online.
yeah, that's true. Watching the TV was definitely a fun little thing that probably doesn't happen much
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
No, it was part of the experience, though,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Like,
Oh, yeah.
that just, like, okay, like, you're ready to finish line, you're just, like, holding your
Early
fingers.
breakfast, yeah, it like gets to your school's letter.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, no, being N, it was always just like waiting for, it felt like attention to detail like that
we're
there.
so similar,
Yeah.
but
Feel ya.
had to wait. The suspense was building.
How was your quarantine, by the way?
I think I probably like quarantine more than most people, because I think I'm an introvert naturally, so like had little problems with it. My only main like quarantine like new project, you know how people love to pick up hobbies.
Yeah.
Like I painted these cupboards in my room of like different NBA moments.
Oh, really?
It's pretty cool, like 5 different ones. Like I can try and think. Each one's like first one is Tayshaun Prince blocking Reggie Miller. Let's see, far right is Ray Allen's famous 3. Second from the left is AI step over. One's LeBron's chalk toss. Yeah, I don't know if I can think of the last one, but like those were pretty cool paintings. And I like found it was like I found a painting kit in like a closet. I was like, I guess I should use this. Like, I do have too much time on my hands. But quarantine overall was fine for me. Like, I can very well survive and keep myself entertained. Is I think how I've always been. Whether it be like as a kid with Legos, loved Legos, and my parents like always joked. I think it's something with the oldest child too.
Yeah.
So like they make you entertain yourself, and eventually I could. Just get a Lego set and be occupied good for like 4 hours probably. But even as an adult, I think I occupy myself pretty well.
I think being able to just like overcome boredom is like so underrated.
Yeah.
Like just like you said, be able to entertain yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you like draw the stuff? Did you have like a projector that was like throwing it on there, or was it like freehand?
I think I free-handed these. I know as a kid I loved like projecting stuff. Like, thought it was so cool because then you make it look exactly like how you have it on a computer or something. But these I do think, yeah, no, these by the end of it, I think I like really sketched out one, like on a computer, and then sketched it on they're basically like cupboard or like cabinet doors. But by the last one, because I did feel like I got better as an artist, if you will, but by the last one I actually just like looked at the picture and then drew it freely, which was cool. Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of them.
But yeah, we'll throw some over here when we're talking about it too, you know.
Perfect.
The audience and visual.
Yeah, good pics of it.
Fuck yeah. I'm excited, dude. That's so hype. I didn't know you were an artist like that.
I drew a lot as a kid, and then definitely stopped for a bit. There was a bit where it turned into, like I loved teaching myself Photoshop at the end of high school, and then out of like ignorance, I thought like marketing would cover graphic design, but it doesn't really. Like graphic design is definitely its own major at this point. There's at least, there's for sure a minor. I think you can all out major. So I lost touch with that, but definitely consider just going all out down like the art and like graphic design path for a bit. So really like that type of stuff, but at this point I think it's a little too far gone for me. Good side hobby is all.
Hey, look, YouTube, let me tell you, everything I know about Photoshop, you know, video editing, like, learn from there.
Yeah, I do like stupid stuff for friends, designing their stuff if they ever like request anything. And yeah, they'd always just be like, how do you know this? Like, we don't have classes on this. Like, anything's on YouTube, man.
Exactly. I feel like you, like, over the course of time, like, doing all this stuff, it's like, you, like, try to do something once on something, and then you're just like, it's just another thing in the tool bag now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I probably still could I could probably still do a good amount of it, but yeah, you just start to internalize it weirdly enough. But trust me, you can find anything on YouTube.
Dude, yeah, no, I mean, you saw the roommate commercial I had, like, the thing where the star, like, moved and, like, had the text reveal, like, it took me, like, an hour to actually find what that's called, but then it was, like, that.
That is a weird part. If I really forget something, you're looking up some awful, like, search.
Yeah, it's like, okay, how do text appear behind image? No, not, like, have an image and, like, the text is, like, behind it.
Yeah.
But it's, like, layering, like, there's a whole thing. But, yeah, no, it's
fun to learn.
Yeah. No, it's fun to learn shit and, like, expand the tool bag.
Exactly.
What's your relationship like with your religion?
I don't have much of one. I was raised supposed to be Roman Catholic. I always joked that I was actually like confirmed by, I would say force. So I think I'm technically still Roman Catholic, but definitely don't practice.
Yeah.
I don't know, I even went to like a Roman Catholic school up until 5th or 6th grade. I would just describe it as like nothing ever clicked. So like I never felt a connection with any of it enough to continue, or I even never felt like I was missing out once I started realizing like it's not clicking like it does for some people. But like, I don't say I'm an all out, like, I don't believe there's no God at all, but I'd more so just put it as like, I am impartial to any religion, and whatever someone is, totally cool by me, and I respect most of them, but it didn't happen for me, and maybe I'll still find it, but I hope it's a little more organic than, I guess, my experience with, like, Catholicism.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
Yeah.
I feel like, or I think it's agnosticism, something like that, where it's like, you know, like you said, like, could not exist.
Yeah, I think I've definitely described myself as that, and I think some of the reason it might have not clicked would be like me being a stubborn, even like teenage boy and younger than that, being just that it wasn't like forced on me like crazy. Like my family is really not crazy religious, but I just never fully understood like why I was being told to read this, go to church here.
Yeah, just
It was always like we have to do this, and I guess I never fully understood why.
yeah, it is what it is, rather than
Yeah,
like,
it was like going through the motions, and I guess I never had that moment, or if people don't have moments, just like the learning that like maybe this is good. Yeah.
ain't no problem with that.
Yeah. Didn't happen. I'm not disappointed. Maybe hopeful that something does happen.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how the stage is, you
Yeah.
know. What is your biggest regret?
Like career-wise, I could see myself being more in the creative direction, music, like art, anything like that, just because of what I said. Like I really liked it as a kid, so I think could have been a really cool direction to go down. And I even feel like I had good enough parents to like support me, where some people's parents just don't support them when they think about that type of stuff. But yeah, I had enough support to like maybe I could have continued trying with that. Just start disconnecting, I'd say, by like the end of high school. That's not the biggest of regrets, and I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, like you said, you still got time, but you know, like you said,
Yeah.
still have it as a passionate side thing, but you know, not have to do it full time, you know.
Yeah, as you can tell, I think I'm big on side things, and then maybe, I think I'd love for a side thing to become a main thing eventually, like whether that be near retirement or at a point where I really hate work. If a side thing takes over, so be it.
Oh yeah, that's how it should be. You know, like instead of trying to like force your side thing to be the main thing,
Right.
and then burning out on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the idea of eventually doing that. Just, I would say I'm very big on not forcing myself to do something I dislike, or like, I'm pretty good about understanding what I like, I guess. So like, if a hobby hits the right spot for me, I'm gonna keep doing it. And yeah, eventually if it turns into a job and you can make money off of it, then like so be it. I'd do that for sure.
Fuck yeah. Hey, if you ever open a market, let me know. I'll be the first one to buy.
I will. Or food truck eventually.
Food
I'll
truck.
let you know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely an eventual desire of mine.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like especially like you know be able to like go across
That's
the
the
country.
thing. It combines work with travel, technically, yeah.
You know, like meet locals instead of just like you know look at like you know in the middle of hotels and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be very interested if it's as good as it sounds, which I doubt it is. I'm sure it's plenty of work, but it's a fun idea when you think of how far you can go, and maybe it works out for me.
What are you most worried about?
I'd say parts of my career. It's like a lame response, but like I wish I developed more hard skills. I can be a major like Excel nerd at times, and like I said, taught myself stuff like that off of YouTube. And I guess where my career currently is, I don't do as much as that. Maybe I do use a little more of the creative stuff than I thought, but I play a lot of stuff safely and like conservatively. That's just kind of how I am by nature. So I feel like I always like to make myself feel safe in whatever I do, and like having hard skills I feel like does that, because then you're like, oh, this skill's always gonna be needed, or like this, you literally need this skill to apply to this job. So I wish I had more of those to just give myself more of a safety blanket, and maybe that's a lame response because it's just career, and I do think I'm totally fine right now. Maybe I can still teach myself them, but it's always something I think about.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think that's got that answer at all. I mean, like especially like the one thing I've learned from being in the industry so far is like everyone like feels like an imposter. Like
I learned that quickly too. Like I'm the youngest in my department,
Same.
so I feel like that was like the main driver of the imposter syndrome. To be honest, I had not heard of imposter syndrome until there was like a 25-year-old guy in like the engineering department that just presented to all the interns this past summer. And it like his message just totally hit the spot with me. He just like presented to us for 30 minutes. And yeah, he was like, I'm sure you've all heard of like this imposter syndrome, and maybe it slipped my mind, but now I know what that's like, and I think most people feel that every day unless you're a little insane and you feel very, very comfortable with what you're doing at work, which I feel good about what I do at work, but there's always smarter people than you in the room, and that's actually what I believe how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the smartest in the room.
no, never, because then like if you're the smart or you're not learning anything.
Correct.
You know?
You learn from those people, and that's how I try to think of it, I guess, rather than the imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not expected to be that person, so I'm not gonna expect it of myself.
Like the way I was or I think about it is like, you know, it's not that they're so far ahead of you, it's just like they're on a different point in the timeline. Like they're people to aspire to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I put like stupid expectations on myself just as like I got my first job. I mean, I'm literally my first job in my career. So like thinking about that and understanding like just how much time it takes to like even be like a manager or like a senior associate of my level just takes time. Like it's not gonna come instantly. Like you're not gonna even get that hard skill. You're not gonna learn a hard skill and they're gonna be like, oh boom, promotion. Doesn't work like that. And like time's a bigger thing than you think. Not everything's just solved by having that new skill. So like I learned that quickly, and it's helped the imposter syndrome at least.
Yeah, it's a marathon. You know, you get a what is it like 10? You got to put your 10,000 hours in or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I mean, like you said, though, you got time to figure out all those hard skills, especially like if there's one thing I've learned from, you know, or I guess if there's another thing I learned from being here. It's like there's a lot of things that I like try to get as hard skills that I just don't even need so far for the real world. Like they were just a waste of time for college.
Yep. So yeah, some aren't as valuable as others, but
yeah, I mean, you live and you learn, right?
For sure.
What is the hardest thing that's happened to you this past year?
Yeah, it'd be like just over, but probably still my parents being separated. It was one of the weirdest times for me too. I guess it'd be 2022, still like spring. My parents got separated, or at least like broke that news to us that they were planning on it. And then 3 days later, my grandma passed, and then I had a trip planned to Hawaii for spring break, and that was like the day after my grandma passed, and I had no idea what to do. Like, it was like do I cancel this? Like, am I leaving, I guess mainly like my younger siblings then? Like, is that a wrong move to just leave them? Or even my parents and just not be there for whatever happened right after that. But I still went, but it was like a surreal experience of like not knowing what was the right move and just kind of like just going with not even what felt right, just like I already had this plan, so like should follow through and they wanted me to, but it was one of the more confusing times for sure. I mean, nothing you can do about a death, and like that one was expected, I guess, and like I got to say a good goodbye, but still crazy that I had to leave them for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, what am I missing? Like, is this bad? The entire time you're on vacation, kind of on your mind.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about all that.
Yeah.
Sounds like at the very least you kind of got some time to.
Weirdly enough, it was probably the perfectly timed vacation, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, not perfect just because, yeah, you've still got that to think about.
Yeah, but at the very least you can think about it with tropical trees.
Correct.
Yeah.
It always helps.
What's something that made you laugh really hard recently?
I don't know, man. That man Ketz is crazy. I think just him living next to me,
Mm-hmm.
not even having to hear everything he says, just some of his actions are crazy, man.
No, that man is a carnival and a half.
Yeah. Like, I'd say even just hearing some of his laughs from his room will make me laugh, because they're out of nowhere. I'm trying to think of outside of him. I mean, Theo Vaughn, go. He's got some crazy lines that you just gotta respect how his mind works and just absorb what he says. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. Vino told me anytime he opened his door, the cats would go, okay, Vino, okay, Vino, okay, Vino.
That sounds scary, right? Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like living in your house last year, like, must have been just crazy. Like, that,
Some characters.
you guys, what was it, the bounty hunters on the first floor? Like,
That's what, I think I did come up with that one, but I still stand by that we're like individual contractors
mm-hmm.
that could like mix and match with any group of those friends or any specific person. Like, if anyone wanted to hang out, we probably would. You just had to come ask.
Yeah.
Maybe give us a beer in return, because that's how bounties work. But
Yeah.
that's why I liked it, and any Star Wars reference I like. So.
Fuck yeah. The first floor bounty hunters, the second floor just grit and grind.
I don't know what the second floor is. Scary.
I mean, just having Weber and Ketz on the same floor.
Yeah.
Obviously Dak there too, but like.
No, Dak was, for sure still the same one, but it was scary how Ketz and Weber's minds got way too similar at times where you're like, oh god, they're connecting more than they should.
Dude, they were definitely syncing up on some stuff.
Yeah, you're like, voodoo was going on between the two of them.
I can't forget for the penthouse with Vino and Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to know what up on that floor.
Yeah, I've heard stories,
Scary
but
actions,
yeah, something that's probably not good for the public.
Right, no.
What is your favorite tradition?
I guess I'd go back to, like I said, we never had like reunions as a family, but, and this wasn't even like a all-out tradition, like it's not written anywhere, but most Sundays we'd have dinner together like as an extended family, so like that's pretty lucky to be able to do. Between like, my dad's side has like 2 siblings in Toledo, and there's like 10 cousins right there that you're usually having Sunday dinner with. Always a great time, Boys are usually arguing, we're playing basketball and football, but that's always fun. Just, simple as that. I'd say that is like pretty great compared to most normal holiday traditions I can think of. I take a good Sunday dinner over that.
Oh yeah. No, that's a wholesome ass tradition right there.
Yeah. It's just like kind of a known thing, like noon on Sundays coming up and you're like, wait, so is there like a dinner somewhere tonight? And if there wasn't, like the parents would talk and
figure it out.
Kind of try and figure it out. Maybe it didn't happen like once a month, but it usually did.
Gotcha. And then how'd that happen with the Lions games too? Like,
Lions games, it was fine because like honestly that side of the family is not big on football. That's like my mom's side from Detroit.
Gotcha.
So it'd usually be, if I wanted the Lions game on, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
That side's mainly just Ohio State actually. Just one of those families that loves college football, and then they're like, God, I can't watch the NFL. I'm like, all right, well, turn the Lions game on because I need to watch it.
It's like just passively in the background and you're just getting hyped.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So it always worked out.
That's a ton of fun. Who is your hero?
I usually say my grandpa. I think he's just a really good role model. One of the craziest people person you'll ever meet. He's on the like Detroit side of the family, and whenever you go out with him in Detroit, like any restaurant, like people will come up to him as if he's like famous. Just one of those people that like attracts others. They're like, hey Bruce, like how's it been going? Like haven't seen you since this. And then they'll like remember the last time they saw him and you're like, how's he had this effect on people? And he's always just taught good life skills. Like just got to see him like a week or two ago, and I joked with him, I was like, yeah, you once told me like, sometimes it's really good to find out what you don't want to do in life, like something along those lines. I made a joke about it, and he was like, well, why did I tell you that? And I was like, I don't know, probably like career advice or something. And he was like, no, that was because I tried the military, and then I got scared like the first time I got deployed, and then figured out that wasn't what I want to do. So that's why I sell cars now. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's why you told me that. But yeah, it's always good to have that grandpa that gives life lessons, and both sides of my family have been good about that.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Shout out Bruce.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce is a grandpa-ass name too.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right, I feel like Bruce is,
There's
do
not
you
many.
know any, like, Bruce is our age? I know Bruce is like in his 50s, 60s.
No, we always joke about it because they definitely want, I guess, me or like my brother to name our kid Bruce. But that might be asking for bullying nowadays. And like, I'm trying to think of, there's other names like his mom was Betty.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy one. But one of my friends, not really friends from home, like a family friend, is like 3 years older than me. He went to Miami of Ohio and like met this girl. He's like, yeah, this is my girlfriend named Betty. And I was like, what? Like someone our age named Betty?
Yeah.
So there's some around. There's definitely Bruces around, but I cannot think of any.
I feel like a normal name like Bruce isn't that bad. Like, I don't think you can
No,
name
yeah.
But like, as long as it's spelled normal. Like, I have a
Correct.
friend who wanted his name his son Jack, but J-A-Q. I'm just like, there's
What?
that kid that he's not gonna get away with that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like you gotta think about your kid, you know?
Correct, yeah, like the work they have to go through in every place they have to put their name, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. No, shout out future Bruce, wherever he ends up to.
Yeah.
What's the best thing that's happened to you this past month?
I was in Hawaii, so that was pretty cool. But then, I don't know, it's been a good last month. Got back from Hawaii on like the 12th, which was not really spring break now because I'm working, but I was able to take some time off and spend it with my girlfriend and her dad, where he works in Hawaii. And then I luckily came back at like a perfect time with the first weekend being spring block. We had Weber and Planner come in town with that and got, I feel like, everyone together. And then even the next weekend was then my birthday, and then got to go home and see family sort of following my birthday. So it's been an eventful month, and not really one specific moment, but most weekends have been very solid.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, April's been up.
April's always good, I'm telling you. And I always shout out my birthday. For those that don't know, April 19th, 419. It's also Toledo's area code.
Yep.
It's great.
No, my dad's got the same one, so
Yeah.
And Toledo boy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, plus I feel like April is like that last month where it's like could be cold, could be warm. So it's like you're not just like in the like full sweatpants, sweatshirt era, but you're not in the just sweating every day.
It's a good point. You break out both wardrobes, so it's
Yeah.
like nice to get maybe those last few outfits with the jacket on, but there's also days where you can go shorts and t-shirt and get away with it.
The most fire fits for the most fire month.
Yeah, I'm a big shorts and t-shirt guy. I think Hawaii made me realize, I started telling people this, so Hawaiian people are so nice, they like yield on left turns when driving. That's my
Really?
weird thing in Hawaii. And like, I never think to, but like, it's just weird. It's like their culture there, like.
That's awesome.
It's weird to see, but I think the other thing I realized is this last trip when I went, this is not specific to Hawaii, it'd be any warm culture. I think that's an underrated part of warm weather when it's year-round at a place. Like, you maybe need like 2 sweatshirts in your wardrobe. I wish it was like I could do that.
Yeah.
I am not someone who thinks too much about what I wear, so I'd really love to be able to like throw on shorts and a t-shirt each day and flip-flops and be like, look at this fit. This is all it is. This is all it takes.
Yeah.
Like, very little mental thought going into an outfit is ideal for me.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that about Hawaiian drivers because I feel like Israeli drivers are the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle who's in Israel, like, I mean, they're very aggressive there, but he was so amazed because when he came in for my sister's wedding, so how like if there's like a parking lot over here and like there's a turning lane, but like someone's like waiting, like sometimes people like give you a gap so you can like
Exactly,
turn in,
they
right?
all do, yeah.
Yeah, and he was so amazed by that. He's like, no one would ever do this. They'd all like immediately close the gap, and you'd just be waiting there forever. And it's good drivers.
It even blows me away, but it's nice.
Yeah. People need to just be nicer at driving.
Right. Yeah.
Like not everyone's gonna be a good driver, but a nice driver.
Yeah. And you're meant to be defensive, so I think defensive sort of means nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be a jerk.
Yeah, I agree. Just I'm very cautious about using my horn.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably count on like 10.
I was gonna say the same.
Actually, I used it yesterday though, because this guy was like trying to merge in my lane, and like I guess I'm in his blind spot, but he's like turning, and I'm like, dude, like come on, like
Yeah.
I feel like, and then immediately he went back over, but
You have to be a real idiot to make me use it, but
yeah.
you will still get those cases.
What do you think your past self would think of you now?
I think you'd be pretty happy, pretty proud. A lot still unknown with the big move, I guess, but I think he's trending in the right direction. I was able to graduate a semester early, and I feel like that was a pretty big milestone for me. Like, I didn't necessarily plan on it, I don't think, but then I realized it was like possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still like sort of let's shoot for it, and if it doesn't, like, you're still out in 4 years.
Yeah.
But I knew I needed basically to be out in 4 years, and was able to do it even earlier and still get to like, I'm still here like enjoying time with friends, so I feel like that was a big benefit that I just think had as much upside as I thought it would. So if that being my past self, I think he'd be happy it worked out like that.
Fuck yeah. No. Shout out young you.
Yeah.
What do you think your purpose in life is?
I really do wish I had a better answer, but I'm a very go with the flow type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Being that I don't know my purpose yet, or that I don't have one, and maybe that's selfish to think that I don't have a purpose, and instead my goal is to, I guess, enjoy life. I think of it as, but enjoyment for me might mean something very different than enjoying it for someone else. So I'd work it as to say, like, enjoying life doesn't just go one way, like me enjoying it, like
Mm-hmm.
trying to make others feel good when they're with me, valued. I don't know, I'm environmentally cautious, I would even say.
Yeah.
I always had that on the back of my mind even. Maybe I'm too lame to think I have like a bigger purpose, I would put it as, but like, I know what I want to do like long term in terms of like treating myself and those around me to enjoy life, and still work hard, and that'd be like my smaller purpose, I guess. I would say I envision.
I like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with you, you know?
Right.
Not everyone's Gandhi or something like that, you know?
I think I'm a reasonable guy, and I like to think I can do enough with what I've got. Like, I still think I'm like plenty privileged to like be where I'm at, so
Mm-hmm.
just lucky to already do what I've done and continue to do it. And it's like, I'm big on like trajectory, like, am I heading in the right way? Like, I'm not gonna make a move that I think is like stupid and setting me back in terms of that vision of having a good life and those around me also being happy, but whatever move seems to keep me going in the right way and not make me go in that wrong way, then I guess that's the purpose I have in what I do.
As long as you go in the right direction, like you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Eventually get there then, but is there really a there? I don't know.
Goalposts are always
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
Are you fulfilled?
I think so. I mean, like, work-wise, I think I like what I do enough that every day isn't like tough to get through. That's not true for everyone, so in the nicest way possible, I'm ahead of those people, and like I said, I value that for myself, and I value fulfilling myself and not wasting my time or effort. So I think anything, and like I also said earlier, like, I'm selective about even the people I'm gonna put effort into. Like, if I don't think this person's gonna benefit me or care about me, then I'm not gonna mirror that back to them. Maybe I'll try, but long term, if I don't see it happening, I won't. So yeah, I'd say I'm fulfilled, and for now, I'm doing what I think I want to do. And until that changes and I stop feeling that way, then I'll keep it running.
Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years, both personally and professionally?
I don't know. I mean, moving to a new place as a professional, is definitely going to come with some challenges, and it'll be a totally different world of like making new friends. So I think how I envision it maybe would be in college. I think I was effectively able to make new friends, and a lot of that coming from like my fraternity or different organizations or living groups. So outside of the living group that I will have, that one sort of being guaranteed, the ones that I'll have to go seek, I think I always do well in like group settings and like organizational ones where maybe I have a job to do, and it forces you to meet people, because I do think at the end of the day, like I said, I'm an introvert, and I think the world is geared in a lot of ways to extroverts, and I understand that, so I'd have to play my cards a little differently and seek out these organizations and put myself out there. And I'm able to do that, so I will, and I think those organizations though look somewhat different than college ones, so it'll be weird to try to find stuff I'm passionate about and then meet people along the way and see if anything clicks. But yeah, it'll be interesting to challenge myself personally to make friends in a place basically across the nation from family and existing friends.
Yeah. No, dude, making friends as an adult just seems like
It
such
seems
a challenge.
crazy.
Like, what did you just like go to people at bars and be like,
I
hi?
say like there's the bar, but the bar is like, do I really go to the bar alone and just try? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
that is tough. If that's so, like
Yeah.
for an introvert, that is a lot of effort to put into a possible friend. If it's like one-on-one, like I'm going up to this guy and saying, hey.
Yeah. No, that's gonna suck, but I mean,
Seriously.
we'll figure it out. You know, I feel like no
That's-
one's, freaking out about that, you know?
Right, yeah. And that's what I'm saying, like the organization will help with that. And literally if they force me to do something, like that's one of those cases, maybe I need someone telling me to do something so that I have to present information or learn information from someone.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
What do you want to have done by the next time we film a podcast episode? I don't know when that'll be, but I'm saying 3+ years from now.
Maybe I want to play an instrument. It's a long-term goal. I was telling you about not long ago.
Guitar, right?
Guitar being my main one. I'd totally be interested in drums, but like we both said, like
Yeah.
logistically that sucks.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah, like I'm gonna be in an apartment, like, I don't think that works. But that just being one example of, I think I can challenge myself more creatively with side hobbies. I really like that idea. I really I really respect this podcast thing from you, so I think even, like I was thinking, the latest book I got, like those 500 top albums according to the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Maybe I review one of those a week. Or month. I mean, writing's always been somewhat of a passion of mine. I think I'm decent at it, and I've even like hit up certain sports writers because that always seems like a go-to, but I think maybe looking past sports, because I'm really not the most knowledgeable and don't dedicate all my time to some sports, like could be really good, and looking into maybe music. And I think that'd be a really cool side hobby that is obviously able to be monetized, and not all are. I hope I'm a better cook. Yeah, I hope I have a good amount of friends, but like I said, not too worried about that. Can always occupy myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you do start those reviews, let me know, because
Yeah.
I'll be heckling on one account and then another account praising you. So you get
Perfect.
both.
I'll run ideas by you. I mean, I'll talk to you about cadence or maybe like what format it's in. I think there's a market for something like that, because I've listened to some music podcasts. Some are just so touchy because I'm no music expert. Like music theory, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
I can tell you what something sounds like from like a raw level, not like I can't. Well, I guess raw would be breaking it down from a higher level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you're saying with the book you were reading, right? About
Correct.
like breaking songs down.
Yeah, they did it at a broad level, but in like cool little categories, which I really enjoyed, rather than like this sounded this way because this instrument was doing this. No one really cares about that unless you're actually making the music, which maybe I am with the instrument, but the music reviews would be different.
Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts right now is Dissect. If you know it. I think I might have talked to you about it, but it's like
Yeah.
each season's like dedicated to an album. Some are like 2 albums. Like I think Swimming in Circles was like one season, or Blonde and Channel Orange was one.
Okay.
But then like other seasons were just like Damn or Igor, stuff like that.
Nice.
And each episode is like going like or one song and like breaking it down like line for line, and like also the music stuff. And like you said, the music theory just goes right over my head.
Yeah.
But no, I think like just deep diving into albums is like such a cool thing, because
Totally.
like songs are great and all, but it's like the collection of songs together is just such a, it's a really cool thing, you know. It's
Yeah.
that true artist expression.
Yeah, no, I mean, you and I both have began to collect vinyls, and like, I haven't read on, I guess, why there's some reason you and I seem to be willing to spend more money and time on vinyls. One, we both have Spotify Premium. Shout out to Spotify, maybe they ever want to sponsor Landon. We both have that at our hands at any time, and I love Spotify. They find me new music, but from what I understand, vinyls seem to be cooler because it forces you to listen to like the album through.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, some artists have like a bigger picture when you listen to the whole album. Like Pink Floyd told all out like movies basically.
Oh yeah.
So it makes you listen to that and like have a little more respect and like understanding for it, whereas other people just know specific songs or just beats. When yeah, some of those vinyls are really cool when you not break it down, you keep it at that higher level.
No, I agree. Like just be like actually listening to a record from like cover to cover is like such an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's, I mean, I feel like don't get me wrong, love Spotify like you said.
Yeah.
It's like there's something about like I don't know, Record Thursday. Just lay down on my bed, just listen to music, not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Like actually enjoying it for just it.
It's a big thing nowadays, especially I think with like, I guess I just say information overload. Like, I know there's crazy stats about like how much our minds have to process compared to, I don't know, 100 years ago before there was mass media and stuff. Like the ability to not make your mind process stuff, maybe just like listen and don't like think about it too hard, is also like very underappreciated. And
Okay.
you don't get that with Spotify then, because maybe it's going song by song on like a radio and you're like, oh, who is this by? And you're thinking too much.
Yeah. And even then, like with Spotify, it's like if you don't like a song, I mean, you can just skip it. Like
Yep.
skipping a song is so much harder.
Mhm.
So that's the end of the conversational part of this podcast. Wrapping up, we got some quick hitters for you. So first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
If you need time to think, go for it. Just try not to overthink it.
Okay.
All right. This is a moment in the mind of Samuel Joseph Cypersky. What's a song that's stuck in your head recently?
Oh, it's by the Bleachers. How Dare You Want More?
Banger.
Or, yeah, I think so.
What's one of your favorite quotes or lyrics?
I would say whichever lyric had Zach Center in it. But
Yeah, that was a crazy pull last
I
night.
meant to look which song that was this morning, but we'll look into it right after this.
Yeah.
The actual lyric though, oh, I always just loved the start of Can't Stop, addicted to the shindig.
Dude,
Simple.
the beginning of that song is just magical.
Like I can think of where I was when I first heard that song, so that's how I know I love that song. It's just one of those that stuck with you. Very few songs that I can say that for, but
Fuck yeah. What is the best show or movie you've seen in the past month?
was it 1917? I think the war movie I just watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yes. Because I love Christopher Nolan, so I try to watch most stuff he directs, and I'm not massive on war movies, but I enjoy it.
Gotcha. What's the best thing you binged recently?
Recently got ESPN Plus and just those documentaries. I'm a sucker for a good documentary.
Yeah.
Just like the random ones on like the Dream Team or the Redeem Team was the cooler one. Because that's more so guys that I was able to watch, and hearing them talk about that, sweet.
Dude, once I get ESPN Plus, I'm gonna dig through those 30
Those are
30s.
crazy because I have tried to pirate those even. Like,
Yeah. No,
you
they
cannot find those.
They have an iron grasp on that stuff. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I was like trying to watch the Bad Boys Pistons one, and then I was like, do I really have to get ESPN Plus for this? And they're doing something right compared to most movies.
Yeah, look, ESPN Plus, go advertise us.
Please, yeah.
Yeah. What's the best book you read recently?
I read a book called There Was and There Was Not, and I only really read nonfiction. So this was about an Armenian lady who sort of went around. She was American, or lived in America then, and her family was very Armenian, and went between Turkey and America and sort of began to understand her culture. And I'm Armenian, but don't really understand all the nuances about it. And it was cool and just talked about how much the genocide divides those two cultures, but like ultimately they're closer than I think they may think. So she had really good perspective on it.
Sounds like a great read.
Yeah.
What is your current job?
Marketing and iGaming marketing and operations associate with DraftKings.
DraftKings.
Yeah.
Do you want kids? And if so, how many?
I think I do, because I'm so good with the flow. I'd say like 2, and then see where it goes from there. Figure out the situation after that.
I gotcha.
Reassess.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Maybe it's a basic one, but I've watched way too much of it. Just Hitler did not kill himself.
Damn.
Yeah. I think he escaped to Argentina.
All right. I haven't read much about the Argentina stuff, but
Oh, there's way more than you think, evidence-wise.
I'm definitely gonna. I love conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah.
Like this question is legitimately just for me to like,
Mhm.
or most of these like song, book, all this stuff. I'm just trying to pull from other people, but
Yeah.
because it's so fun.
So good.
Yeah.
Used to love that stuff.
What's your favorite spot to eat nearby, whether it be sit down or fast food?
I mean, Bud Dairy, I would say, just all the options there, mainly Club Norris, but
Yeah.
I even got to like bring family there, so I feel like it's fun and they all love it.
You truly can't go wrong there.
You cannot go wrong and please any amount of people too. Like some places you can go, people are like, nothing looks good.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
There's
when
so
you
many
go Bud
options.
Dairy,
Yeah.
So everyone's happy.
Yeah. What's something you think is underrated?
We go socks.
Socks.
Yeah.
Damn. I've never heard anyone be a sock defender.
Socks being that I don't even care that much about the clothes I wear, but it's got to be comfortable. You know?
Completely
And I
agree.
feel like socks or underwear could have probably either fit that then, but I care a good amount of those being comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your biggest hot take?
I mean, I would say like food-wise, I'm a huge foodie, and red meat just doesn't do it for me. Like, it doesn't not do it for me. Like, I'll still eat it, but the amount of different ways you can do like chicken and veggies,
Yeah.
that hits more for me.
I'm not a beef guy.
Not really. Like, I'll eat a steak, but like I wouldn't.
It's not
I
your first
don't
choice.
think I've ever like bought myself a steak in the grocery store. Like, that's not gonna be the first thing I look to at most restaurants at all.
Damn. No,
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
I guess that's a decently hot take that, like I'm trying to think the last time I've got red meat, probably got a burger somewhere, that's about the main thing of red meat that I get.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Chewing being like the big one, or maybe just like interruptions when people, there's just those people you can tell don't have regard when interrupting others.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
What's your biggest insecurity?
Maybe that sometimes I'm too introverted or like keep to myself, I guess. Like I feel like I still could be more outgoing.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
What's your favorite quality about yourself?
The counterpart to that last question, that would be I'm a very good listener, I think, so if someone tells me something, I should remember it maybe the next time I see them so like I can bring it back up, you know, and that shows that you actually care.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite outfit?
Not really, it's more so whichever shirt that day seems to maybe bring up a good memory. I like those type of clothes way more than anything that's like stylized, I guess.
Yeah, like the memories of the clothes rather than the...
Yeah, like I found this shirt here, this person got me this shirt. I'd rather throw that stuff on than, like I have a plain green shirt that sometimes I really question why I got that. It's probably what's in, but I wouldn't know.
Okay. What's your biggest hobby?
And just be listening to music. Trying to find new music, maybe I should put it as. Sharing music if I know someone likes a band that I think like a different song that just came out sounds like.
I will say, your playlists always go ridiculously hard.
And as you say, just in every direction.
Yeah.
Random.
No, I always got shit on for like having like 5 genres within the span of 5 songs. It's like no,
That's told.
it's about the mood. It's not about the genre.
Yeah, I've been told it by a good amount of friends, and I'm just like I don't know. I think that's something weird about your thinking, but I think most people are confused by having like different genres of
No.
playlists, but I don't see it that way for some reason.
Mega playlists, supremacy. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're stuck on a deserted island. You're gonna bring one thing. If you bring electronics, doesn't have cell service, and you can't bring like a boat, what are you bringing?
Probably food. Fish tacos preferably, because I'd probably start wanting that after seeing the fish near me. So that'd be the first thing I'd think.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Who are your best friends?
It's a good question. I've got great different circles I'd even put. Like I said, my family and cousins and brother, guys I live with this year, with you, and Kets and Rusty mainly. Guys I lived with last year that have now dispersed a little, and then high school friends, so can go a lot of ways.
All the homies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you curious about?
Cultures. That's a good one.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
What's something that you have to do every day?
Try to talk to my mom most days, or talk to my girlfriend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
Graduating school.
What was a grind? Yeah.
It was definitely a grind. Can just think of points where you're like, this sucks. Like, I should really not even be doing this. Like, why am I attempting this?
So I feel like if you can get through that just first semester, you can get through anything.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, you just start to realize, like, nothing's too big, like, you can do it.
Yeah. What's one thing you want to own?
Man, a house. I mean, my mind goes there right away, because I'm hopeful and don't know when that'd be, but love to.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the price of gas will be by the next time we film?
I don't think there will be.
No more gas, just all electric?
Yeah.
Damn. That's a hot take too.
Go.
Yeah. Where do you want to visit next?
Anywhere in Europe, I'd say I'm interested in like northwestern Europe, so even like Scotland, I think would be cool areas. If not, then probably Italy is a safe one because you can go anywhere within Italy, and it'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. What's one piece of advice you have for yourself, for the world, for me, whoever?
Do what you love, because I think that's mostly all that I do, and I've made it work, and I don't think I did anything crazy special, but it worked out for me, so just find what you like and follow it.
Well spoken.
Yeah.
Then last but not least, top 5.
In some form of nothingness, and not, I'm bigger on like staring at stars rather than sunrises or sunsets, I always argue. So I just say that because it's important to do nothing sometimes. Lacrosse. Yeah, I'd still maybe put that as my favorite sport. So, like, because between both like playing and watching, I'd say I love it the most. Family and friends.
You can bundle that.
Yeah.
Done that.
Keep it wholesome. Include a lot of those people. Colors. Yeah, those are important.
Those are important. Be a lot more lame if we just saw black and white.
Yeah, I'm just being grateful for having colors. Yeah, I mean, I'll just keep it simple and go music then.
Music.
Yeah, specifically rock probably for me at this point, but as you know, I go many directions.
Genre goes all over.
Yeah, music and color. Life would be a lot less without those.
Yeah.
Same with most of those things I named, so.
Look, genre's going all over, top 5 is going all over, but that's a great top 5 right there.
Sweet.
Great way to round out this episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy to have you on. This was really, really fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. How do you want to end this thing?
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, I thought my advice was pretty good, but then we did a top 5.
Yeah.
This sounds like a Euro step then.
You can do a Euro step.
Euro step this way.
Alright.
Alright.
Shit.
Alright, so.
Yeah, I'll take this out of your way too.
Me in the middle. I'll go left then right. So I guess you do the same thing then.
Alright, so.
Right?
Left, right.
Yeah, basically that. Or.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to go. Right. Or other way. Which foot are you stepping with first? Let's each do 3 steps.
Alright. Left, right,
That's where we cross.
left, and
And then fall through. Okay.
alright.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, that was sick.
That worked out.
Fuck yeah.